HOA Karen complained I had too many cars, so I bought the lot and banned her forever. The cul-de-sac on Maple Drive was a slice of suburban perfection, manicured lawns, white picket fences, and the hum of predictable routine. I'd lived there for a decade, a mechanic with a passion for restoring old cars. My driveway held 3 classics: a '67 Mustang, a '72 Chevy pickup, and a rusty but soulful '59 Cadillac. They weren't just cars. They were stories, each one a labor of love. But to Karen, the HOA president, they were an eyesore. Karen was the kind of person who'd measure your grass with a ruler and leave a violation notice if it was half an inch too long. Her complaints started small notes about my cluttered driveway, emails about neighborhood aesthetics. I ignored them, figuring she'd tire out. She didn't. One humid July evening, she marched to my doorstep, clipboard in hand, her face pinched with righteous fury. "Your cars are a disgrace," she snapped. "3's too many. The HOA rules say 2 vehicles max. You're bringing down property values." I tried reasoning. "They're registered, insured, and on my property. What's the harm?" But Karen wasn't interested in reason. She wanted control. She filed complaints, rallied neighbors, and even called the city to inspect my lot. The pressure built, a slow burn in my chest. I wasn't just fighting for my cars. I was fighting for my right to exist in my own space. Then came the twist. Old Mr. Jenkins, the reclusive widower next door, overheard Karen's latest tirade from his porch. He was a quiet man, always tinkering in his garage, never one for HOA meetings. The next morning, he shuffled over with a gleam in his eye. "Son," he said, "I'm selling my vacant lot across the street. Half an acre. Been thinking about it for years. You want it?" I stared, dumbfounded. The lot was a weed-choked eyesore Karen had long despised. "Why me?" I asked. Jenkins grinned. "Because I hate busybodies like her. And I like your cars." I scraped together every penny I had, took out a loan, and bought the lot. The day I signed the deed, I felt a rush of defiance. Karen wanted a war? I'd give her one. I moved my cars to the lot, then started buying more cheap, beat-up classics I could restore. A '78 Corvette, a '65 Impala, a rusted VW bus. Soon, the lot was a mosaic of chrome and faded paint, a middle finger to Karen's obsession with conformity. Neighbors whispered, some amused, others appalled. Karen was livid. She confronted me in the lot one evening, her voice trembling with rage. "This is a mockery," she screamed, gesturing at the cars glinting under the streetlights. "You're ruining this neighborhood." I crossed my arms, calm but unyielding. "It's my land, Karen. My rules." She stormed off, vowing to sue. The tension in the cul-de-sac crackled like a storm about to break. Weeks later, the HOA held an emergency meeting. Karen, armed with bylaws and a lawyer, demanded the lot be cleared. But I'd done my homework. The lot wasn't under HOA jurisdiction, it was unincorporated land. Her rules didn't apply. Defeated, she played her final card. A petition to ostracize me, painting me as a reckless rebel. Some neighbors signed, swayed by her charisma. Others, like Jenkins, stood by me, tired of her reign. Then came the second twist. At the meeting, Sarah, a shy single mom who just moved in, stood up. She'd been quiet, unnoticed, but her voice shook with conviction. "My son loves watching him work on those cars," she said, pointing at me. "He's autistic, doesn't talk much, but those cars, they make him smile. You want to take that away?" The room fell silent. Karen's face flushed, her moral high ground crumbling. Sarah's words weren't just a defense, they were a mirror, exposing Karen's crusade as petty and cruel. I doubled down. I posted a sign on the lot, "Private property, no trespassing, especially Karen." It was petty, sure, but it felt good. The neighborhood splitsome saw me as a hero, others a villain. Karen stopped coming outside, her blinds always drawn. Rumors spread she was moving. Victory, right? But the win was hollow. One night, I found Jenkins on his porch, his face pale. "I saw her crying," he said. "Karen, In her backyard. Alone. I shrugged it off. Serves her right, I thought. But Jenkins' words lingered. I started noticing things. Karen's empty mailbox, her unwatered flowers, the way neighbors avoided her. She wasn't just a tyrant. She was lonely, clinging to control because it was all she had. Months later, I saw her packing a U-Haul. I walked over, unsure why. "Karen," I said. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." She looked at me, eyes red, and said, "You won." Happy? I wasn't. I'd turned her into a pariah, and the lot, now packed with cars, felt less like freedom and more like a shrine to spite. She drove away, and I never saw her again. The cars still sit there, gleaming under the sun. But every time I walk past, I feel the weight of what I'd done. I'd won the battle, but at what cost? The neighborhood was quieter, sure, but it was fractured. Sarah's son still waves at me, his smile a small redemption. Jenkins passed away last month, leaving me his old wrench set. I keep it on my workbench, a reminder of the man who sparked my rebellion and the price of carrying it too far. What would you have done in my place? Was I right to fight back, or did I go too far, letting vengeance blind me to the human behind the conflict?